You're at the mercy of God with this stuff. You can't really do anything about it. Just be patient.
Now at noon, a massive winter storm across the U.S. is causing major delays, including at Orlando International Airport. How long the travel troubles will last.
And all that cold air is quickly rushing into Central Florida, bringing with it a pretty rare cold stretch. As we talk about the rest of the week, we'll have more details on how low temperatures will go and all the advisories already in place.
Plus, Orlando city leaders looking to transform a busy downtown street with the goal of keeping people entertained after events end. This is News 6 at noon.
Streaming on clickorlando.com and broadcasting live. You're watching News 6 at noon.
Thank you so much for joining us at noon. I'm Julie Broughton. We are going to send it right over to Chief Meteorologist Candace Campos. Candace, some rain came through my house this morning, just like you said, and we're talking about cold weather already building in.
We have just a little bit left of that rain to contend with across far southern Brevard County, but you can see how quickly the skies are clearing out behind that front, and that's really going to start ushering in a big old blast of cold air. And this is not just a snap of cold air that we're talking about. We're talking about a cold wave that we'll expect. As we look here at the latest radar loop, you can see most of us are staying mostly dry, but we are still dealing with some pretty heavy rain for our far, far southern viewers here. We're talking Mico, Sebastian, through Grant Valcaria. This rain will last for probably in the next 20 to 30 minutes. Things should wrap up and that cold air will quickly start rolling in. Now, highs today were before the sun even came up into those mid to low 70s. Our average high is 70 degrees, and we are already well above that, but temperatures are going to continue to tumble, and they're going to be tumbling fast as we are heading into what will be a very chilly and frigid night tonight. We're talking about freeze watches in effect. We're talking about cold weather advisories, especially because of this. Look at the wind chill by early tomorrow morning. This morning we woke up in the 70s. Tomorrow it will be feeling like the 20s and 30s as you're heading out. Now, while you might not have to deal with the rain, you will be dealing with the wind and the cold. So because of that, tonight, Wednesday night and Thursday night will all be weather alert days due to, again, this stretch of weather that we're going to be experiencing. Freezing temperatures, especially northwest of I-4. We got the wind chills, the frost, and the freeze potential. But there is more in store as we are looking at an even stronger cold blast to arrive just in time for your weekend. We'll have more on that coming up in just a couple minutes.
Candace, thank you. Right now, that powerful winter storm is paralyzing much of the country, with hundreds of thousands of people dealing with cold and power outages. Here's a look at Knoxville, Tennessee this morning. That is on your left, and on the right is near Kaufman, Texas. That's just outside of the Dallas-Fort Worth area. These are just two of the areas dealing with that ice and snow today. And even as the storm begins to move out today, the impacts could last for days. And that includes air travel, where canceled flights have left thousands stranded. News 6's Mark Lehman is at Orlando International Airport, where more than 400 flights were canceled yesterday alone.
That storm is expected to last until today, but the impacts could be felt for days to come. Here at Orlando International, we're seeing a lot of red on the board here. That means a lot of cancellations. I counted more than 50 just this morning. That's leaving a lot of people scrambling to get home. A monster winter storm stretching from Texas into New England is bringing heavy snow and treacherous ice to dozens of states.
This is really crazy. I can barely even see. I was thinking I needed to bring some goggles or something.
The dangerous conditions are creating a nightmare for travel, which is causing a ripple effect across the country. On Sunday, more than 11,000 flights were canceled in the U.S. That's the most for a single day in nearly 5 years.
You're at the mercy of God with this stuff. You can't really do anything about it. Just be patient.
John Newell and his family were hoping for a chance to make it back home to Chicago and Indianapolis.
Son-in-law and daughter-in-law are delayed 1/2 hour on a Frontier flight.
This is happening as the storm caused some airports like LaGuardia in New York to close. Orlando International feeling the effects and seeing 425 cancellations on Sunday.
Fingers crossed we all get home safe.
So far today, there are 122 cancellations through Orlando. Nationwide, more than 3,600 flights have been called off. Now, if you do have a flight going through Orlando today, the airport suggests you check ahead of time with your airline for any potential delays or cancellations. At Orlando International Airport, Mark Lehman, News 6.
And that front is already impacting us, so several counties are opening cold shelters. Most will be open tonight and tomorrow night. We have a complete list of every location for you right now on our website, clickorlando.com. In Orange County, a 3-car crash has left one person dead and another hurt. It happened last night around 9:40 on Aloma near Palmetto Avenue. That's in the Goldenrod area. Florida Highway Patrol says a man ran a red light and hit the car in front of him, causing a chain reaction crash. That man that ran the light died. A woman in the car that was hit is being treated at the hospital. In Volusia County, a man is rushed to the hospital after a car fire spreads to a home in South Daytona. This was the scene late last night on Yale Road near Calhoun Drive. Parts of the home just gutted by fire. Police say the fire actually started in a Jeep that was parked outside, but within seconds, things quickly got out of control. Officers say paramedics airlifted the man to Orlando Regional Medical Center. We are working to learn more about his condition. Senate Democrats are vowing to block a crucial vote this week to fund the Department of Homeland Security without additional restrictions on ICE. This could trigger another government shutdown. The standoff follows the killing of another U.S. citizen at the hands of immigration agents in Minneapolis. CBS's Natalie Brand reports from the White House.
President Trump, in a new social media post Monday, announced he's sending border czar Tom Homan to Minnesota, saying Homan will report directly to him. The White House says Homan will be managing ICE operations on the ground in the state to continue arresting the worst of the worst criminal illegal aliens. In earlier social media posts following Saturday's deadly shooting of U.S. citizen Alex Preddy by immigration agents, the president accused Democratic-run sanctuary cities of refusing to cooperate with ICE. Deputy Attorney General Todd Blanche also blamed a lack of assistance from local authorities.
ICE is doing all of this work, doing their jobs, and local law enforcement are not being allowed to do a single thing to help.
The Trump administration has also alleged the man shot was interfering with an ICE operation. When asked by the Wall Street Journal about the officers' actions, President Trump said, "We're looking, we're reviewing everything, and we'll come out with a determination."
Lawmakers on Capitol Hill are calling for a full joint federal and state investigation, with Republican Senator Bill Cassidy saying the credibility of ICE and DHS are at stake. Democrats are also vowing to hold up a bill to fund the Department of Homeland Security as Congress faces a Friday deadline to avert a partial government shutdown.
We have a bill about funding them, giving them more money. I'm not voting for that.
Some Democrats are calling for a freeze on ICE funding and policy changes aimed at putting guardrails on immigration enforcement tactics. Natalie Brand, CBS News, the White House.
Plans to transform one of downtown Orlando's busiest roads are set to take a big step forward. City leaders are set to pick a contractor to overhaul a big stretch of Church Street, hoping it will change the experience for thousands who attend downtown events. News 6's Stephanie Rodriguez is along Church Street, where city leaders want to ensure that people don't leave the moment the event is over.
The plan is to improve Church Street between here at Garland Avenue all the way down to John Young Parkway. It's roughly 2 miles. It is a very busy and heavily traveled street that Orlando wants to capitalize on, especially since downtown events draw people to the area. How often do you walk on Church Street?
Every single morning.
Church Street between Garland and JYP is filled with cars and people.
Like every single day or every other day, it seems like there's always an event going on, and I like it.
The city's goal is to make this area feel just as active during the day as it is at night, and more comfortable for people walking around.
I think expansion and growth is good, as long as it's here to listen to what Orlando wants.
The project is set to enhance travel times, reduce congestion, and improve pedestrian crossings along the roadway. And it's a very important part of Orlando, as 3 of the city's major venues are on this stretch. The Kia Center, Inter and Coast Stadium, where the Orlando City and Pride play, and Camping World Stadium. But when events let out, thousands of people can be moving through here at once. These improvements, along with the $400 million upgrade to Camping World Stadium, could entice people to arrive earlier for events and stay later. Do you think if they made more pedestrian options in general, that during the events more people might choose to walk instead of drive?
100%. 100%.
This is all part of the city's plan to revitalize downtown, and it will go hand in hand with the Canopy project, which is coming in 2027. This project will turn this I-4 underpass into an immersive public area. Reporting in Orlando, Stephanie Rodriguez, News 6.
New at noon, a message from the state about concerning chemicals found in candy. Governor Ron DeSantis spoke in the Villages this morning with First Lady Casey DeSantis and Florida Surgeon General Joseph Ladapo. During the news conference, results were announced from an independent testing of 46 candy brands. The governor says elevated levels of arsenic were found in 26 of those brands, including Jolly Ranchers and Nerds. The study is part of the Health Florida First initiative. First Lady DeSantis says the goal is to create transparency to allow families to make informed decisions about their health.
Reducing unnecessary exposure to arsenic and lead and cadmium and mercury and other harmful contaminants in the food supply, especially for our children, gives us a better chance of potentially warding off long-term health ramifications.
Just weeks ago, the governor announced the state found concerning levels of chemicals in some baby formulas. We posted a link to the findings under this story on clickorlando.com. A man died following a brutal attack the day after Christmas. Coming up, how friends and family are remembering the 62-year-old as police continue the search for suspects.
This portion of the news is sponsored by Florida Lottery.
Who is responsible for the death of Bernard B.J. Jackson? I'm your Paramore Committee correspondent, Jarrell Baker. Now, right across the street, family members showed up Saturday evening, all for a vigil for B.J. Bernard Jackson, who was brutally beaten right here on this street and died this past week.
You, glory. Yes, hallelujah for being the awesome God that you are.
Kayla Boyd and her family are heartbroken and looking for answers.
Whoever did it, I hope that they're taught because they're a danger to their community and everyone around.
Praying, singing, and lighting candles in honor of her uncle, Bernard B.J. Jackson, Saturday evening.
That's the reason why we're here.
Jackson died this week, 26 days after Orlando police found him brutally beaten and clinging to life the morning after Christmas Day, right here on West Anderson Street.
If you can attack and beat an elderly man to the point, that he loses his life, you deserve to be locked up.
His family says that the attack left him with broken bones, a lost eye, and other severe injuries. He was on life support until days before his death.
He was so loving, just a loving person, would do anything for you. So I'm just going to miss just seeing him.
Police are offering up to a $5,000 reward for information in the 62-year-old's case. His sister and niece, Lynn and Miche Jackson, went home to home to spread awareness.
I just want justice to be served.
We know somebody knows something. We know somebody seen something. We know.
The family is also creating a GoFundMe for BJ's funeral expenses. They plan to hold his funeral at a later date. We reached out to Orlando Police Friday and Saturday for any updates on the case, and we're still waiting to hear back. I'm your Paramore Community Correspondent, Jarrell Baker.
Time now is 12:15. Time to turn to your weather. This is a live look from our Launch Credit Union camera out there at Port Canaveral. You can still see some clouds and some rain barely hanging on in southern Brevard County. Chief Meteorologist Candace Campos is here. And Candace, as we clear the skies, the temperatures drop for us.
Oh, yeah, and they're going to be tumbling fast. Our wake-up temperature was our daytime high, if you can kind of imagine that. 73 was our temperature right before sunrise, and that is exactly where our high was. Then temperatures will continue to tumble. Right now, we are still dealing with a couple lingering scattered showers there through areas of Miko. If you had the News 6 weather app, it alerted you all morning long of all the different changes, including the rain that swept through the area pretty quickly. All right, so now that we're pretty much done with the rain, it's all about the chill. And again, we're not talking about a cold snap, but a cold stretch, almost kind of like a cold wave. We're going to have back-to-back days of advisories. So let's get to it. Tuesday morning, we are watching already freeze warnings as well as cold weather advisories in place. And we're going to sound like a broken record for the next couple of mornings because very similar conditions are expected. But there is long-range models are showing the potential for a Saturday front. As of right now, a lot of things are coming into fruition that we could actually see temperatures in the 20s in Orlando, feeling like the teens. So again, that is still downrange, but I already want to give you a heads up because it is going to fall right smack in the middle of the weekend. Temperatures out the door right now. We are all now in the 60s. Again, we hit that high this morning, and then temperatures will continue to tumble as those skies will continue to clear. You saw on that port cam there, there's still a lot of cloud cover out there, but the skies will clear pretty quickly, and those clear skies will allow those temperatures to drop tonight. But now let's check on that hour-by-hour forecast for your Monday.
Your forecast is sponsored by Strata Services.
We're going to continue to cool down through the day. Clear skies overhead will allow those temperatures back down into those 30s. So here's a snapshot of our wake-up temperatures. Early Tuesday morning will be in the 40s in Brevard, but everywhere else it will be the 30s, even a couple 20s at play. But not only will it be cold, it will be windy as well. So the feels like temperatures could be at or below freezing for almost all of our inland neighborhoods. Again, with the exception of you guys along the Space Coast, we could be feeling like those mid-20s there on Tuesday morning. As of now, it does look like things could get a little colder on Wednesday. At this point, it's the middle of the week where it will be the coldest. So freeze warnings have now been extended further south, including Lake Sumter, inland Volusia, and Marion and Flagler County. What you see here is the watch. This is in place for Wednesday morning. Okay, so the watch goes a little bit further beyond just tonight. So again, do expect another round, not only of freeze watches and warnings, but cold weather advisories due to that hazardous wind chill, feeling like 27 to about 32 degrees. So at this point in time, the next couple mornings, it looks like we could actually stay below that 40-degree mark each morning. This is Orlando. Last time we saw a stretch like this, we'd have to go back all the way to January of 2018. Highs are really not going to be warming up much. As you can see, temperatures will be staying in the 50s and 60s. But like I mentioned at the beginning of the show, there's the potential for a stronger cold front to make its way into central Florida, primarily on Saturday. Look where numbers could go. Again, those are feels like temperatures, so that's something we'll be watching very closely. In the meantime, though, we're talking about a stretch of even cold weather alert days.
Candace, thank you. Doctors and many states are ignoring new federal guidelines on vaccine recommendations. Coming up, what alternative guidelines states are following instead and how it differs from the CDC. And coming up on News 6 at 6.
And I returned to find that my van was not where I left it. Started to try to avoid having an anxiety attack because if I don't have my van, I have no way to get home.
Officials at Orlando International Airport tow a disabled person's car after she had no choice but to park in two regular spots. News 6 anchor Matt Austin went to find out why. Here's a live look for you over downtown Orlando, where skies are starting to clear. This is our Light Orlando Delivering Hope camera. You're watching News 6 at noon. We'll be right back. Doctors are choosing to follow the American Academy of Pediatrics guidelines over the controversial new federal childhood vaccine recommendations. The Academy's schedule that came out today contains just minor adjustments of last year's guidance. The CDC is narrowing its recommendations for several diseases and calls for a health provider consult for flu, COVID-19, and rotavirus vaccines. Many states and doctors are relying on the AAP guidelines instead. Check out our new primetime lineup on News 6 Plus. Matt and Ginger have a new take on the day's news on News 6 tonight. That's at 9. Meteorologist Jonathan Kagas answers your weather questions at 9:30. Then watch the late news an hour earlier. It is all tonight on News 6 Plus. Download our streaming app for free. Search WKMG in your smart TV's app store. It's also available on Roku, Apple TV, and Fire TV. We're back in 3 minutes. Tax season is here, and many Americans could see higher refunds this year. The Treasury Department estimates refunds will average $1,000 more per household. That's because many filers didn't adjust their withholdings when recent income tax breaks began. A new law boosts the individual standard deduction by $750 and by twice that for married couples.
Good news there.
Yeah. Not good news if you don't like cold.
Yeah, return numbers go up and temperatures go down. Let's talk about those rain chances. The rain coverage is pretty much done with. That cold front is blasting through. It's getting windy. It's going to be chilly throughout the day. And look at that. We're going to have a stretch of temperatures in the 30s throughout most of the week, possibly even colder air, though, for the weekend. So stay tuned and stay bundled up. You'll need it.
All right, Candace, thank you. Thanks for joining us. Our next newscast is at 3. Have a great day.